Hello, friends. Thank you for tuning in to another exciting episode of Un Poco Mas, the show where we strive to give you just a little bit more to brighten your day and put a little bit of money in your pocket, you poor, hardworking SOBs. My name is Danny Deals, and for executive producer Hurricane Lopez and supervising producer Stock Karen, we'd like to welcome you to the program today. Guys, if the day ends in a Y, I am going to talk to you. I'm going to bend your ear about SoFi Technologies Incorporated. The ticker symbol, as you know, friends, is SOFI. Why do I talk to you almost every day ad nauseum about this stock? Well, I'm invested in the stock. I like the stock, but the point is, I feel like for the long-term investor, this is one of the very best stocks you can buy at this time for the long term. I think you're getting in on the ground floor. Let's take a look at the price action today. We're going to run you through the daily short interest, the news, some upcoming catalysts, and what we think will happen with the price action next week. Guys, SoFi Technologies was down 12 cents or 1.73% on the day, up 6 cents or 0.88% after hours. So we're just down about a nickel on the day. It is 2:15 p.m., a little over an hour after market closed on June 1st, 2023. Um, so what happened today, guys? I think a lot of us were expecting quite a big pullback. Let's be honest, the stock just ran up 30% in a couple of days. And not to mention, the stock just hit an all-time, not an all-time low, but a recent all-time low below $4.50. It actually touched $4.49 back on May 15th. So if we want to talk about the reality, we are up about 50% from that level in less than 2 weeks, guys. We're talking about 11 trading days from $4.50 up over $7 and now back down to $6.88. So let's not fret, guys. Whenever we see that kind of run, we usually see a much larger pullback. It wasn't there today. Why didn't the stock pull back today? Well, it's pretty simple. Shorts do not have the minerals to keep shorting this stock. Their thesis has fallen apart. Their thesis was based on a deep recession, on SoFi's personal loan offerings going bad, on them not being able to sell the loans. Furthermore, it was based upon continued delays in student loan payments, probably based upon a Supreme Court granting the student loan debt relief that the Biden administration is seeking in court. And, it was blocked with an injunction in federal court. And so the fight there is just to forgive $20,000 worth of debt for borrowers that received the Pell Grant. Now, as you know, SoFi caters to borrowers with high incomes and high credit scores. Many of those people would not have received a Pell Grant in the first place. But I think SoFi would be absolutely fine. In fact, Noto has come out and said he's for some relief. He just wants certainty. He is not against, and SoFi is not against providing some debt relief to those who are behind, those with low incomes. But let's face it, folks, those aren't the people SoFi lends to anyway, and it's not going to affect their business one bit. As far as the price action goes today, guys, it was one of those up and down days. You can call it a hump day. The stock opened. Let's see, I don't know exactly where it opened, but basically the stock came down, traded down to $6.66 in about the first half hour of trading. Then over the next couple of hours, pushed all the way up to $7.25, where it met quite a bit of resistance. Came back down, was a little bit choppy and sideways. Seemed like it was going to find some support at $7. And then right then at about 3:15 p.m., that's when everything started going down a bit, just pulling back a bit. And the pullback was exaggerated with SoFi if you compare it to, say, the NASDAQ or most other stocks. Came from 703 all the way down to, I believe, about $6.73 within just moments, and then some buying pressure resumed, bounced off that 675 level, and closed out the day at $6.82. Now, volume was very, very heavy again today. The stock was not heavily shorted today. The difference was only a couple 100,000 shares in terms of what was borrowed and what was returned. So we're looking at let's say return shares 1.53, borrowed shares 1.76. So only a net of about a quarter million shares were borrowed today. So that was not significant when you consider that 105 million shares were traded. Basically, what was going on there, guys, was day turders and swing turders. Um, the day traders probably thought the stock was going to keep going up, and they just rode it up on the daily and started getting out when they met their profit targets. And as far as the swing traders, I think they see the writing on the wall when a stock jumps up 50% in 2 weeks or 30% in 2 days. You're going to have a little bit of a pullback, so they dumped out of the stock. But I don't think any institutions, I don't think any long term investors, I don't think any insiders were dumping the stock. I would have expected a much larger pullback. And when you account for the after hours price action, folks, we're only down less than 1%. So, for SoFi, that is actually a great day because, let's face it, we usually get kicked square in the groin by the market makers every single day, and we've gotten used to it, and, we've become accustomed to it. But it is not normal to get kicked in the groin day after day and accept that as normal, folks. So, SoFi investors, we've been conditioned to accept horrible, horrible treatment by the markets. But no more, folks. We're not going to be kicked around any longer because why? We're about to make a net profit. Not only that, student loans are about to come back. The entire short thesis has fallen apart right before our eyes, if it ever even existed. Guys, we got an upgrade from our favorite guy over at Wedbush, David Chiavarini, the old Chia pet. He downgraded SoFi twice, as you know, after a solid earnings report. Coincidentally, there was a massive short attack pre-planned on the stock. I know David didn't know about it because that would mean there was illegal coordination between him and the short sellers and other market makers. But we know that kind of thing doesn't go on, folks. Not in this country. This is the United States. We believe in law and order. No one should have an advantage, right? Well, folks, listen. The guy had a $20 buy on the stock just over a year ago. That's been an $8 buy for earnings report after earnings report after earnings report. After this ER comes out, he panics. He throws up his hands. He says, "Oh my God." He cuts the stock to $5 and a hold. And then within a couple of days, with no new information, nothing new, no bad news coming out, cuts the stock to $2.50 and a sell. And then as other analysts came out and basically reiterated their buys, their holds, $6.50, $8, $9. The Chia Pet was knocked down the list of recent, analyst ratings. So he again, he raised his target from $2.50 to $3 and maintained his strong sell on the stock. At least he has conviction. At least he's consistent. I love that guy. He is just a huge, huge, stinking, smelly turd. He serves shorts, and, I basically hate him. But I'm not one to go off on hyperbole and tangents, as you know. So let's just stay focused, guys. Here's an article in the Motley Fool. Keith Noonan, June 1st, 2023. As you all know, Danny Noonan was from Caddyshack. I don't know if he's actually related. Probably not. The fintech stock is getting a helping hand from the debt ceiling bill. What happened? You guys know how these Motley Fool articles go. They sort of state just a fact, and then they go, so what? So we know the federal law is going to end the temporary moratorium on student loans at the end of August. The debt ceiling bill passed today, will likely pass the Democratic-controlled Senate, and all including the federal student loan payments and interest accrual will end after August 31. So a large part of SoFi's credit portfolio is private student loans, which have not been subject to the same payment and interest pause that's been in place for federal loans. But with the federal loans resuming, SoFi could benefit as loan holders once again move to refinance federal student loans. There's no could about it. SoFi is the premier player in the space, and there will be a lot of people refinancing. Look at the interest rates, folks. Who can afford anything? I mean, a dozen eggs, you've got to go in with, a letter of credit and a third mortgage to get yourself a dozen organic eggs. And you got to get those organic eggs. The supermarket eggs that you can get on sale for $1.99, those ranch eggs, those things are horrible. They're always cracked, they're too small, they're sticky, and if you do find one that doesn't have 2 or 3 cracked, a couple of eggs are stuck to the cardboard when you go to use them. You got to kind of crack them and turn the thing up. I don't know where I'm going on about that, folks, but sometimes eggs can get very, very frustrating. And speaking of eggs, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, but if you were going to concentrate your money in any stock, I would certainly recommend SoFi Technologies Incorporated. So now what? The stock has rallied up 53% across 2023. Well, I mean, I would argue that it was completely artificially destroyed, and so it's kind of back even lower than it should be. Following the recent gains, SoFi stock trades at approximately 3.3 times this year's expected sales. While the company is not yet profitable and the stock remains somewhat risky, the business does have huge expansion potential, and it's possible that shares will deliver strong returns for patient investors. I would say it's more than possible, folks. I would say it is highly likely. Let's jam on over to Seeking Alpha. Let's take a look at why did SoFi jump today? Debt ceiling bill to extend student loan to end student loan pause. Excuse me. This is by Touchdown Liz Kite, who I've never heard of before, but she has an odd name that scrunches a lot of vowels together. And I really like that. It lends some credibility to her point of view. To have a name that's so hard to pronounce, you have to assume she's probably more intelligent. She could only get more credibility if she hyphenated that name. For instance, if it was Lidge Kite Hormichael or something like that, and she was in real estate, perhaps a little pantsuit on a photo, on a sign hanging in your front yard. But nonetheless, folks, I digress. Liz is a player, and as long as she's praising SoFi, I will assume she knows what she's talking about. No, folks, I'm not a blind fanboy that simply comes online every single day and sings the praises of SoFi mindlessly without any critical well, that hits a little close to home. But folks, let's move on with the article. SoFi Technologies surged 15% on Wednesday as the debt ceiling package negotiated by the White House and Republican leaders advanced the U.S. House. As we know today, it actually passed the House, which was the biggest hurdle. It already passed the Rules Committee, so this thing's a done deal as long as senators don't defect, but I think some Republican senators would get on board anyway. Mitch McConnell definitely doesn't want to default. He is one of the adults in the room, though. He's very droopy and an odd-looking gentleman, but he is from Kentucky. They get a ton of government money, and it would hurt Republican states more than any other state to default on the debt. Let's face facts. The money flows to Kentucky, to the South, to states with a lot of military. It's like, it would crash Kentucky's economy more than anybody's. So I don't think McConnell is going to let that thing die in the Senate. And it would be foolish for either party to kill the agreement at this point, as it has been elusive and should have never got to this point in the first place, but no reason to threaten the full faith and credit rating of the United States anymore. So let's jump on over to a bearish article, which is extremely confusing, I must admit. This is SoFi stock. The momentum may not last long. And this is by Delantha De Silva from the Beat Billions blog, an investing group leader. This article is extremely confusing because it makes a lot of points that, are very positive for SoFi, but then it talks about some of the pitfalls. And this is kind of stuff we know. I don't think it's extremely bearish. But a lot of the information in this article is actually quite bullish for SoFi. Outstanding U.S. student loan debt is at 1.76 trillion. It was just at half a trillion in 2006. So student loan has more than tripled, almost quadrupled in the last 15 or 16 years, which is terrifying, but pretty good for SoFi's business. So most borrowers are unlikely to qualify for SoFi's services. They're considering this a bad point. I consider it a good point because SoFi doesn't need, 20 million borrowers refining. They need like 1 million good borrowers or, several hundred thousand good borrowers. So SoFi takes the best credit scores, the highest income, and I view that as good. I know we reject more than like 2/3 of the people that apply for personal loans, and that's why our personal loans are not defaulting, because we are selective. We take the best of the best, and the rest of you turds can hit the bricks. Okay, and they go on and on about how, SoFi's lawsuit to end the student loan moratorium is a black eye and how that will hurt poor people, and how the CPFB says they're big smelly turds, and SoFi is a bully, and SoFi is a for-profit company, blah, blah, blah. Well, we already knew all that. And then this article goes on to talk about the expansion beyond student loans. Guys, I'm running up against the clock. I have an extremely important meeting at 2:30, so I'm going to jam through the rest of this article and then get you guys back to your important business that I know, you guys watching my channel, you're all extremely important so-and-sos with fancy shoes and lunch meetings and, cocktail hours and such, high teas with the queen. But anyway, or at least with, somebody down at the local bar, maybe a Pabst Blue Ribbon for you. But in any case, guys, I digress. They went on to talk about how they acquired Wyndham Capital, how they're 98% customer satisfaction with over 100,000 borrowers, and it is by positioning itself as a comprehensive financial solutions provider and offering a diverse range of products. SoFi aims to leverage cross-selling opportunities, reduce consumer acquisition costs, and carve out competitive advantages in the long run. And this is a bear? This is a bear? He sounds like a bull, folks. He sounds like a bull. He sounds like a bull. These guys' arguments don't even make any sense. He's talking about a missings earnings catalyst, and then he goes into this Zach's earnings revision trends are missing. Well, guys, they keep beating earnings. The trends are up. The earnings are up. We're going to earn a net profit in Q4. I don't know what this guy's talking about. The takeaway, SoFi Technologies, or woman, it is a gentleman. I'm sorry. SoFi Technologies is a digital financing company known for its innovative offerings. It may face challenges, the legal challenges of the student loan. That lawsuit is irrelevant. This new law makes it completely irrelevant. Whether the Supreme Court decides one way or the other is not going to affect SoFi hardly at all. So this is just a bunch of FUD, and actually 90% of this article is positive anyway. Guys, let's check you one more time on the post-market price action before they put me back in my cage and hose me down for the end of the night. The circus is over. No more Danny deals to kick around, throwing peanuts at me, posing for selfies. You guys don't even tip me. I'm not posing for any more selfies with you guys. You guys are turds. But anyway, guys, we are up 5 cents after hours to $6.87. Volume was extremely heavy today. I expect the rally to continue tomorrow, guys. SoFi is an extremely, extremely undervalued company even at this point. My price target over here at Strong Arm Trading is $9.75 end of year. You guys tell me down in the comments, where do you think SoFi is going? What do you think this thing's doing? What do you think shorts are up to? Why didn't they reshort harder today? I think it's because they don't have the minerals, and they're a bunch of cowardly turds, guys. It's Danny Deals. It's the SoFi stock, ticker symbol SOFI for Hurricane Lopez and stock Karen. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night.